Shalom Yasharala. Kal Halalimla Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body. And shalom to the 144,001 May peace and blessings be upon your households. So I want to make a quick hitter with regards to being content in thine self, or being content with what you have. You know, I was never an individual that would, be a person saying, oh, I want, oh, look at that Lamborghini. I want that. I'll do anything to get that, Um, you see prank videos of, I'm not going to name any channels, right? But, Jake prank videos where, a son would ask his father, say, would you let another man, I mean, I know it's disgusting, but, let's just say, I ain't going to say what they exactly said, but it was a prank comedic video. Jake was making silly videos. The son asked his father, he goes, Dad, would you do X, Y, and Z for $30 million or 30 million pound or whatever? Right. And the father would say no. Right. And it was a Mo act, even though it's done in a comedic fashion, stated in a comedic fashion. It's still disgusting. Right. And there's a lot of Jakes in this world that would do all sorts of disgusting things to acquire those riches and so-called wealth of this world, to acquire the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, and the huge mansions, and where the palm trees are swaying outside in front of the deep blue sea, a couple of beautiful women poolside, sipping wine and shit, and you're just walking through with your robe on, blinged out, with your lokes on, with your shades on, Jake wants that. And ultimately, Jake wants these things because they've got a royal spirit and they know that they are supposed to have these things, but they acquire it in the most foul ways, right? And I'm not going to go, we know about the industry, okay? In every avenue, what they're going to do to acquire what they got, from our people to the heathen, right? But I'm going to, I never liked Ferraris and Lamborghinis anyway. I mean, they're nice. And I know Jake more than likely designed them, right? I prefer classics, to be honest with you, but nevertheless, that's neither here or there. When you're in this truth, it's such a barakim, right? Where the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yashai, puts you in positions where you don't have nothing, right? And then you get a job and then you acquire something. You can do things, you can pay bills, you can buy yourself a pair of sneakers, pair of Timbs, a nice jacket, a bomber jacket, leather bomber jacket, whatever you want, right? You can buy these things, jewelry or whatever, right? Obviously, you work, you stack your money up and you buy these things as and when the Lord blesses you, right? And then you've been in situations where you don't have nothing. When the Lord shows you these different things, right? It's like, for example, you're not going to complain about having fish and chips every day. Fish and chips, British food, right? Or like, say, let's just say lentils and flatbread every single day, right? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if you're having lentils and flatbread every single day, right? You're going to complain, oh, I hate having lentils and flatbread every day. But you don't realize that you're being fed. The Lord is feeding you. You're surviving. You've got water, lentils, flatbread, you've got a roof over your head, right? Right? You're warm in this winter. You're cool in the summer. You've got a place to, have a shower every day, twice a day or whatever. A place to wash your clothes. A place to keep your head down, And when those lentils and flatbread are taken away, right? Then you'll be saying, oh man, I could do with a nice big bowl of warm lentils, seasoned up, you know what I mean? Yeah, with nice toasted or warm flatbread, with a light touch of butter, light touch of butter. We've got to watch the health, right? And I want to dip it in the lentils and I want to sip that soup and I want to slurp it down. It's delicious, with a nice cool glass of water, when you think about that. When it's taken away from you, then you appreciate it. You only don't appreciate these things when you have it and you have it in abundance, right? So what I'm trying to say is You need to appreciate what you have. Don't compare your life to these idiots that have sold out, right? You can still have a nice car. You can still have a decent home. Keep it clean, you know? You can still have nice things, right? But through honest, hard work, right? Not that we're going to be here on this hell not that long, right? But I'm just saying for the short term, and while we are here in this hell, before hell really breaks loose, you can have a few nice trinkets. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But you need to appreciate what you have, because we're going to get it all. We will get it all, man. All right? When you think about how when you think about the Lord, beholding his majestic appearance, and Lord willing, he's looking at you with favorable eyes. And it's scary, man, if the Lord is looking at you with vexation. It'll scare the hell out of anybody. We're talking about the Son of the Most High. Yahweh, his son, Yahweh Shai, our King, man. Brakti Yahweh Bashem Shai. Right? Philippians 4:11-13. Not that I speak in respect of want. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, brought low, and I know how to abound. Things that start, work out to a certain degree where the Lord keeps you balanced. And I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. Verse 13, I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengtheneth me. All right? The Lord puts you in these circumstances so you get a balance of life, so you understand, okay, how to deal with stress, turmoil, things coming against you, all right, pressure, all right, how to persevere. All these things the Lord puts you through so you can be ready for the greater trial, okay? Now, this world that we are in as Israelites, no matter what package you come in, whether you've got the beautiful original look of a so-called black man, I hate saying the term black, by the way, all right? Or you look like a Latin brother, or you look like a native Indian brother, right? Or you look like an Israelite foreigner from whichever country you were raised in. Or, like my family, we come here in the UK. And through the Spirit, England is ours anyway, Southern Kingdom are ruling this place. So spiritually, this is our land, right? But nevertheless, this world is a prison sentence for us. Okay, so we learn our punishment. Some brothers are literally locked down, right? 24/7 or whatever, or 24/6, however it works out for them in the prison system, right? But for other Jakes, we are confined to this environment of hell, which we have to endure until these chains are broken, these chains of darkness are broken, all right? And that's coming soon. Our prison sentence is almost over, okay? So be content with what you have, man. Be content with what you have, because we're going to get it all, okay? You're gonna be with Yahweh Shem Shai. You're gonna have the laws inside you, man. You're gonna never make a mistake. You're not gonna ever be worried. You're gonna wake up happy. You're not gonna wake up tired. You're not gonna have fear. You're not gonna have those butterflies in your stomach when you got to do something. You could be a tough guy or whatever, but sometimes you do get like a little nervous. It happens here and there, right? Happens to me. Okay, as they say, we're human and we're in these chains of darkness for F's sake, right? And and you're going to be changed. You're going to be comely. You're going to be tall. You're going to be small. You're going to have spiritual power. You're going to have mansions. And the Lord said, in the Lord's house are many mansions, right? Which means that that's why these crackers know that the earth is expanding, because the Lord is building planets for the Jakes, planet of the Jakes, the world, the universe of the Jakes, masters of the universe. What do you think that cartoon's about? He-Man and all that. Adam. First man, Adam. Then when he gets spiritual power, I have the power, he goes brown. You're living in a world called Eternia. The Eternals. Who are the real Eternals, man? The Israelites in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Hashai. From Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Bashem Hashai. Who are the real Eternals? The Israelites. The elect on down, man. From Yahweh Shai on down, man. Real Eternals. Brakti Yahweh Bashem Hashai. Lord willing, I said it correctly. Right? Who are the real Eternals? Okay, and any women that you missed out on this side, okay, you've had what, a decent amount of women or whatever, and certain things the Lord didn't bless you because the Lord is protecting you ultimately. She may have been fine or whatever. You really want to hit that, you're aching to get that, you know what I mean? But the Lord said, nope, not for you. She may have been looking for you, looking at you, checking you out, whatever. At the bus stop, you're driving by and you can't find no place to pull over just to go and talk to her. That's happened, right? That's happened to you Jakes out there. And she's fine. She's on her own. She's got no bitch female friends around her just to say, don't talk to him, because they get jealous. You're talking to the cute one, not the fat one, right? There's no place to pull over or whatever. Oh shit, I want to talk to her, man. Ram packed with trap. It's how it is. The way the Lord makes things happen. And sometimes rejection is protection, right? Or not rejection, or sometimes not getting your way how you want things to be is protection. Even rejection is protection. So just be content with what you have, man. All right. And if you see the cute girl, whatever, if it's the Lord's will, the Lord puts a spirit on you, claim her, man. She could be yours in the kingdom, and she'll look better too. And she'll be, that pussy will be part of my French there. Speaking a bit graphically, that vajayjay will be untouched. No fingerprints will be on there, boy. It'll be clean and it'll be all yours, nice and tight, as Benjamin would say. She'll be all yours. Every single wife or concubine you'll have in the kingdom will be, as they say in this world, a 10 out of 10. Curvaceous, gorgeous, beautiful, sexy. There'll be no worry of thinking, oh, what's she doing? Where is she? All these worries will be gone. Do you realize that? See, our people that sell out in this world, man, have to worry about these worldly, carnal things, man, and still have wealth. Look at Esau, man. Look at Esau. This is his world, but his woman would still cheat with Jorge, the gardener, a swole, Rico Suave Latin Jake, who works in the garden and that. She sees Jake with his shirt off and that swollen shit, and he's at the office. What do you think's going to happen? You know how these Edomite women are, bro. Yeah? And these things still happen to our people and the heathen. But these things ain't going to happen to us in the kingdom, man. All right? So be content with what you have. Don't worry about what another person has. You're not missing out on nothing. All right? This world is on its way out. And those of you, especially if you're my age, you're mid-40s, late 40s, listen, we had our little stint of so-called, like we were live and on and popping in the mid to late 90s, right? I mean, that was a different world back then. Okay, so the Lord gave you a little second of a few hours, seconds of fun, if you want to call it that. It's bullshit back then. Only era was a little bit better, of course, than now, of course, right? But we're coming to greater things. Doesn't mean you can't go out, go to a nice lounge, maybe go to a pub, a nice quiet pub, Lord gives you a woman, go there with her, you know what I mean? Have a few drinks, then go home, to her place or whatever, hotel room. Don't bring her to your place if you live alone. Some women are crazy, and do the 1-2, Nothing wrong with that. It's lawful. As long as that woman is single, nothing wrong with that. Look clean, dress up or whatever, nothing wrong with that. But be content with what you have, man. Don't worry about this effed up world. It's on its way out, man. It's on its way out. Proverbs 30:8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. You want to earn your daily bread. Okay, you want that balance. You don't want so much where you forget the Lord. You don't want to be like a Steve Harvey, for example, who says, which I haven't heard him say it, but, brothers have said it, and, because some brothers catch certain information to put on their platform so we can learn from it. It's in the spirit power of Yahweh Bashem Ashai. And if you look at Steve Harvey, he's content, or even other Jakes, they'll say that they got everything they want. They're proud and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And I sometimes look at these Jakes, I said, okay, you're lower level illuminaries. You don't know that this world is on its way out. You don't know that. And they're still in America. And I think, okay, why aren't you, okay, even though the whole world's going to be under turmoil, America's going to be nuked. And these Jakes are still in Beverly Hills, which is a shithole now anyway. Like that Ishkarite Jake would walk around saying, for lease, this building's for lease, that building's for lease, whatever, right? And it's still in America. Eddie Murphy and shit, he's still in America. Eddie Murphy's son's at TRANS. These MFers, these Jakes have to sacrifice their seed, man, just to keep what they have. Making your son into a Momo and flipping him trying to make him into a female. What kind of shit is that, man? You want that? You're welcome to it. I don't want none of that business, man. Lord willing, I want to stay with, Lord, keep me. John 15:16. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. I want to stay in the straight gate, man, with the Lord, man. Lord willing, I can just hold on to the hem of his robe and he doesn't let me go, man. If I may say that. I'm not saying that the Lord's garment has got loose hems on it, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a figure of speech, Yeah, man. So we want that balance, man, You want to buy a car? Okay, it's X amount. Okay, cool. I've got the money, but I'll wait another 6 months. I'll have all the money, then I'll buy it. One of them situations. You don't want to be in a situation where, you got everything at fingertips and you get proud to the point where you forget the Lord, man. Okay? We'll have everything in the kingdom. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with being financially well off either. Some Jakes are. And some Jakes are still with their heads screwed on right in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashai. Okay? Because the Lord has given them a specific spirit where these things don't overwhelm them. All right? Proverbs 30:8 again. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. All right? I've got another scripture lined up as well. James 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai hath promised to them that love him. Okay? And the elect, no matter what your position is, man, you endure these temptations and the Lord is still guiding you, showing you spiritual signs that you're on the right path. We aim, Lord willing, if whether you're the elect 144 or you're part of the greater multitude, you're still part of the election, right? And you want to be in a chariot with the Lord, yeah? And we want that crown of life, man. So, and plus we're at the end. This ain't 2,000 years ago, bruv. This ain't 2,000 years ago. All right? In human terms, for us, it's a long time. Incarnation after incarnation, going through hell, whatever we went through. All these things will come to remembrance in the kingdom. We are right here now. This is the last kingdom. We're at the feet of in the book of Daniel, of that statue. I believe it's Nebuchadnezzar's dream, right? We're at the feet, the concrete feet. This place is falling. We don't have to come into slavery again under no heathen nation. This is it. Yahweh Shai is at the door, man. All right? So it's not long. We're going home soon, man. We're going home soon. All right? So hang in there, Yashrala. I'm going to cut it short now. You know how it is. Tuesday morning. Let's go. But anyway, Shalom. Let's go earn our daily bread, as they say. Anyway, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Hang in there, Yashrala. Be content with what you have. Because you have a gift that you've been given that nobody else has. Everybody else is caught in IG, Instagram, Snapchat, taking pictures with their damn phone all the time, looking down at their phone all the time, pretending to have a ball when they're not. They're caught up in that bullshit. Yeah? But what are we caught up with? We're caught up in the loveliness of Yahweh Bashim Mashai's blessings and his lovely name, and praising it and praying in it, and caught up in visualizing the kingdom, man, and which brought Yahweh Bashim Mashai, man, for giving us a brother like Manatas Benyamin, who in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Mashai creates excellent visuals, man, of the kingdom. And obviously the kingdom is going to be way more grandeur, if I can use that term. If I said, yeah. And other brothers out there, like is it Aishiar? Other brother, man, he makes excellent vids too, man, visuals, We're going home soon, so hang in there, man. And you're not the only one that's saying, oh, come on, let's go. Sometimes you feel like this water is not moving, it's static. But things are happening. All right? Things are happening. All right? Things are happening. But anyway, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Akak Mawatha, Bad Babal, Kwam Yashwala. Be content with what you have and hang in there, Yashwala. Shalom. All right, we're going to get it all.